CrossFit Glen Burnie. Welcome back. It is great to see your smiling faces today. You know what? I thought I'd start a dialogue with you today about pacing in CrossFit workouts. This is something that over the last year has gotten some attention as CrossFit Games athletes have started to learn that maybe going out all out at the beginning of a competition isn't the best strategy to get their best performance. But does this apply as well to somebody who has goals for health, wellness, and longevity? I think it does, and some of this is coming up with a class that I had taken with Chris Hinshaw with aerobic endurance. And Chris really, when he would work with his athletes, he would really try to he'd ask himself the question, how can I maximize the benefit of this training for this particular athlete? But what Chris is really looking for is, how do you get the most out of the training that you're going to be doing? When we come to the CrossFit and we have a 1 hour workout, how do we maximize our training result there? Now, Greg Glassman provides us a little bit of a hint with some of the basic foundations of CrossFit. CrossFit, if we look at it, we measure our fitness as our work capacity over broad time and modal domains. So what does that mean? That means that your fitness, as you're able to do more and more work in a shorter and shorter period of time, we could say that we believe that our fitness is actually increasing. So the more work we can do in a shorter period of time, we're going to say that we're more fit. Well, if that's the case, then what we can really look at is, how do I get my best time in a CrossFit workout? And I think that that's going to give us our, let's say, our best time in a timed workout, or complete the most rounds that I can complete on a given day in a particular CrossFit workout. And I think that question starts to give us some answers as to how we might go about approaching pacing in a workout. Now, we know that if we're going to be running our best mile, it's probably not a smart idea to run that first 400 meters at our fastest pace. In fact, what would probably be better is if we found some strategy that would allow us to complete each part of that race our absolute best time. For a 1 mile, that turns out to be our best 1 mile time pace. You can divide that up, figure out what your pace would be for the first 400 meters, second 400 meters, third 400 meters, and then the final 400 meters, dividing your mile time by 4, and you're going to be pretty close to the pace that you should be running throughout that race. Some runners, when they run their best mile, will have that strategy. Some runners will also have a strategy where they gradually try to increase that pace a little bit more as they get further and further toward the end of the race, so that they're running their fastest on the last 400 meters, not their first 400 meters. So if we could apply that to a workout that's 3 rounds for time, 4 rounds for time, or perhaps 5 rounds for time, what we can look at is, what is the time that we can take, that it's taking us to complete each round of that workout. We can jot down those times, those split times, and then compare round 1's time to round 2, to round 3, round 4, and round 5. And if you look at all of those times across the board, then if they are generally about the same for all of the rounds in the workout, you're probably pretty close to pacing it correctly. Now, could you have gone faster in all of the rounds? Possibly. Maybe you held back a little bit, but it's giving you a hint that at least you weren't going too fast. So you can use that as a gauge as you're ticking off those rounds. But what happens if you go into a workout and that first round you have a really good time, second round not so much so, and third round even not so much so? That's kind of giving you an indication that something is, let's say, pretty obviously slowing down in that workout. Maybe we're not getting enough air, maybe we're getting some muscle fatigue, maybe the number of reps and the volume seem to be accumulating faster than we can complete them, and the workout we're taking longer and longer breaks. That's a pretty good indication that we're going too fast, too early, and that we would actually do better to go slower in the first couple of rounds and then to have a slower pace, a more even pace over the middle and final rounds of the workout, possibly increasing the speed a little bit more when we get into the next to the last or even the final round. So there's a lot of good physiology behind why we believe that that is better. If you think about using the energy systems in your body, it is pretty expensive to go all out in the sprint. We know this. When you go out and you sprint, it takes longer to recover from that effort. Same thing's happening as we're going through a workout. So if we turn up the volume and turn up the speed and the intensity, I should say, in that round too much too early, we're just going to be burning expensive fuel that's going to be really hard to recover as those later rounds come on. So just by dialing it back a little bit, finding the right pace, we're going to be able to maximize our results in those workouts. Now, my first question was, though, does this apply to, my basic question was, how does this apply to someone who has wellness goals or just a CrossFit athlete? And I do think it applies to someone who has wellness goals. If you look at because we are able to maximize our results in the workout, we're actually accomplishing more in that either slightly shorter or shorter period of time. So our intensity overall throughout the workout is actually higher than it would be had we sprinted faster. So for that reason, I actually believe that by learning how to pace these workouts a little bit, we're actually going to increase our health, fitness, and well-being. So anyway, I hope this has been helpful. I'm sure you guys have some thoughts. We'd love to hear from them. And as always, comment down below and let me know what you're thinking. Thank you for listening. Bye now.